Welcome to Monday Night Live. How is everyone doing? I'm Steve Leahy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to be back. Thank you all for hanging in there while I was away last week. I ended up going to LA for a week and it was a blast. Probably get into a little bit of that as we go. But I'm back and we're painting stuff and I love that. So that's what we got. So let me start off with my thanks for last week. The super chat, super thanks, whatever YouTube calls it. You guys tipping me and donating money, it means the world to me. And last week we have Honey Rivera on that list, and I thank you so much. So that was great. What else? New items. We only have 2 more days on the coupon for any 543. If you go to my site and type in the code tariff, it'll give you 20% off any 543. So it's my kind of pushback on the stupidity that's going on right now. So hopefully you take advantage of that in the next couple of days. That coupon ends on the 15th. What else do I got? That's all I got. So welcome everyone. Hello. Tonight's topic, we're going to be painting a penny, and I'm going to get into a little bit on why I decided to do this and why I decided to paint what I'm going to paint on that. And that's what we got. Because I was away, I only have one 543 to show you. I was only able to get one done, and that's actually going to be the time lapse for this week. So that's what we got. All right, that's all I got. That's all I got. I've tried to have more news for you, but I don't. So let's switch over. We'll get things going, and we'll look at the one painting, and then that's all I got. That's not all I got. We're gonna paint some stuff. All right, hold on. Let me can I actually get comments tonight? That would be lovely. Let's see if they let me do that. I don't know. I see you guys. Ian Hart, hello. Dan Mayer, what's up? Enzo, what's up? Mr. Bug, what is going on? Gary Shees, hello. Spirit Air, how are you? Dave, thank you. Bug just, that's awesome. Thank you so much. All right, why can't I see comments? I want to see comments too. But I don't want to see comments there. I want to see comments here, over here. That'd be awesome. If I can't get this to work in like 5 seconds, though, we'll figure it out. I don't know. All right, it doesn't matter. Hello, Michael McClung. What is up? Michael, I haven't been around at all, so I missed all your feeds, but I'll hopefully be able to jump on there and check them out after. All right, so let's look at the my one and only 543 for tonight. So what I did was I took the suggestions from the week before I left, and I used those. I actually had 3. Maybe that'll be fun. Let me show you the other ones I was going to do, and then we'll show you the ones I did do. D Cube, that's right. London Pen, I'm glad you're here, Sean, because you won tonight. Why can't I see comments over? I want to see comments over here. I know, whiny me is not what you came to hear, but I want to make it happen. I want to see comments over here. Give me one more shot at this. Yes, there it is. Okay, good. That and that. It just makes it easier for me, and I can react faster. Oh, look at that. All right, there we go. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, Spirit, you gotta get those subs. That definitely. So if you're not following Spirit Air Customs, do that. Get him his subs so he can go live too. Grumpy, what's up? Ron, what's happening? Yeah, now I got it. Okay, so let me show you. Oh, you know what I didn't do though? Give me 2 seconds because I gotta tell you who suggested these. Hold on. I gotta grab my notebook. My notebook. Nope. Hold on. Oh, I got it. Woo! Thought I lost it, which isn't bad because I could always go back and look again. But I want to make sure I had them because the suggestions were awesome. I actually had 3 picked out for tonight, but I just didn't get to them. So I think I might still do them. So let's look at the other 2 that I did not get to. The first one is from a new victim here. And Sean, I'm going to mispronounce your name. I apologize for that. But Sean Shiro, I think it is, asked for a lighthouse. I just posted a picture of this painting that I just did. Not just did. I did it a while ago, actually around COVID, so about 5 years ago, of Nubble Light. So this is one of the photographs that I had taken from that trip. And so I'm going to do a 543 of that. So I will get the lighthouse one done, but I didn't get to it this time. So Sean, you are on the list. The next one I wanted to do but did not get a chance to do was from your friend and mine, Brian Moore. Brian Moore asked for an atom. So I thought it would be fun. Well, I don't have a 543, printy thing for it, but I'm going to do nitrogen. But I'm going to use the Bohr model for the nitrogen, and I'll explain that when we get to it. So this is just my reference photo for a nitrogen atom, and it'll make more sense. It'll look much more cosmic when I'm done. So that is what I got for the 2 that I did not do, but let's look at the one I did do. Mr. London Penn last week asked for the Dalek from Doctor Who. Now, I've done this before, but I wanted to do it again because I love it. So, Sean, excellent suggestion. And here's what I came out with. So if you're a member on YouTube, you've already seen this one because it was the time-lapse as well. So you can watch me paint this live, or not live, but you watch me paint this on YouTube. It'll be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Or if you're a member, you saw it already. Switch to this one. It's kind of dark. How about that? Yeah, it's better. Kind of dark, but yeah. So Doctor Who began, the series began in 1963. And of course, it tells the story of the extraterrestrial Time Lords. The very first Doctor Who was William Wartnell. And he was the first actor to play the Doctor. The series is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest running science fiction series of all time. For me, though, the only Doctor Who is Tom Baker. Tom Baker, the actor, played Doctor Who from 1974 to 1981 and was really there for the explosion of this series. So I used to watch the reruns of Doctor Who when I was a kid, and Tom Baker was the one who I watched all the time. So this is my Dalek, and you got Tom Baker in the background there. So that's what I got. So that's how that worked. Roberto, what's happening? Ian Hart, hello again. Tony D, what's up? Yay. So that's it. So if you win tonight, congratulations. You can choose this one, or you can choose from any of the other 543s that I have on the website. And trust me, there are a few of them. So if you're not a Doctor Who fan, you can pick from a gajillion other 543s we got on there. So that's it. So that's Doctor Who. All right. Good job, LPC. My buddy Sean over there at London Pen Company. All right, so let's get to it. I have a lot to go over here. Why am I painting a penny? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to change a few things out here so you can see what I'm talking about here. All right. So what happened was I met a guy, a friend of mine who's a docent over at the Butler Institute of American Art, and he is a retired electrical engineer. First, I need to crack my beverage for tonight. There we go. Practicing tanks and helmets. Excellent, Tony D. I love that. And look at, and incidentally, if you want to win a 543, do what Michael McClung just did, 543 and then a suggestion for me, and that's all you got to do. Super easy. So George, I met George, great guy, electrical engineer. Just I'll switch to this one. Yeah, Electrical engineer, just a really cool dude. Used to troubleshoot very fancy cars. You know, when they would have ghosts in the machine, he would track them down and blow them up and get all that going. So he was a neat guy. He is a neat guy. And I met him and we were talking about a lot of different stuff. And he had seen what I do. And he had asked at one point, do I ever use a microscope in what I do? And I kind of told him, you know, that I don't. It's the thing that as long as I know I broke YouTube again. It's weird that I'm watching it and it's not doing the buffering thing. It is doing the buffering thing on my end, but not. I'm so sad. Makes me sad. All right, let's see what we can do here. Hang in there, kids. I'm gonna make a quick note. So let's see if we can. There we go. It may be okay now. Why it fixes itself? I don't know. It's just magic. It's the magic of the interwebs. Yeah, seems to be fine now. Holy fajitas. Anyway, so here we go. So I'm going to keep going on. So what I've done here is I've taken a penny here. And yes, I have done bad things to it from a conservation penny thing, which is I've polished this thing. So I took a little bit of metal polish and I went nuts on it. So I polished both sides of it. You can't see the other side of it. This is a 1947 penny. And so once I polished it, then I sprayed it with UVLS, I'm sorry, with Autoborn Sealer Clear 6000. And that gave me this, yeah, we should be good now. Yeah, we should be good now. So the spraying with the Autoborn Sealer gave me this clear coating on it. And now this penny will not tarnish from what it is right now. And I wanted this because I want the penny to be shiny. Again, if you're collecting pennies, this is probably the worst thing you can do. Thank you, honey. I know. Oh, no, we're good. We're good. It's going to be good now. No, it's so far we're good. I watched it fix itself, so we're back. So once the Autoborn Sealer is on this, Autoborn Sealer is direct to metals, so it you know, which is copper, and it basically solved that adhesion problem with this. I did both sides of it, so it's ready to go, and now this penny is ready to be painted. So I chose a 1947 penny, because I wanted to do something really cool and timely with it. So what I decided to do was in 1947, the United States built this, or Bell built this X-1 rocket-propelled jet plane that they strapped young Mr. Oh, thanks, Max. You're the man. Thank you. So they strapped Chuck Yeager in this thing in 1947, and they blasted him faster than the speed of sound. He could have easily died on this mission, but Yeager was all, you know, crazy cool, and he's just like, bring it on, and that's what they got. So I'm going to paint the Bell X1 on this penny because it's a 1947 penny, and it was a 1947 thing. So what I've done is I made a bunch of copies. I'm just looking for them now. There they are. But what I did was, for inspiration, I grabbed this Mark Cavron painting of the of the Bell X1 and its flight. I'm not going to use this. This isn't the idea behind this. The idea behind this was I love the colors of this. I love the arid, desert underneath, and then, of course, the bright, thank you, Michael, the bright orange Bell X1. So I just loved his whole color scheme. So that's what I'm using for that. But the other, the image I'm going to use is a little bit different. So we'll keep that somewhere nearby. All right. We caught up. We got everything. We caught up. I think so. So we'll put this here. I'm going to change this a little bit. Yeah, I want you guys to be on this thing a little bit better. So we're going to move you around a little bit. Actually, what I might do is I'll let you guys stay here while I goof with the other camera, and you don't have to go for a ride on that. Yeah. Because it's going to be a very, open studio type of situation where you guys got to be super close to see this. And I got really, really excited about all this stuff. This whole painting. So I think this might be a series if this works out well. I didn't mention it, but I'm gonna do all the detail work in with the microscope, but I can't show you that because I got to set that up separately. But you guys will see the beginning of it and then hopefully be able to catch the rest of it. So there you go. Now you're close. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, you guys get to see everything, the scratchy marks and everything. I want to be able to see some of the copper in this. Let me give you a little bit less. Let's give you a little bit less exposure so you can see what's going on there. There we go. Yeah, lovely. That's better. Now you guys are super close. Good morning, Steve. What's up? Patricia, what's happening? Jeff Simon, what's up, buddy? Just trying to say hi to everyone I missed. Yeah, Gary, I thought of that. I thought of that. But here's the thing. I don't care. If a 1947 penny is worth, 100 grand, then, whatever. You know what? It's not going to be the stupidest, well, it probably would be the stupidest thing I've ever done, but yeah. Thanks, Gary. All right, so what I've done, like I do everything, I've got this, National Air and Space Museum photo of the X1 doing its thing. This is photocopied. Obviously, you see the limitations of the printer here, which is why these things, just can't be a print of what's going on. And I thought it'd be great. Again, I'm going to use the colors from the other awesome print and just kind of go for it. So we're going to block this thing in. We're going to get pretty far on it, and I'm going to give away painting. That's what I got. And I'm sorry, if Mike Stevenson is on, and my other favorite people who have won paintings and I have not sent them out, I will get them out this week. The LA trip was amazing. That's going to be the next cityscape. I already have the rocks for it, so it should be fun. So here is my cutout, and it's going to go kind of on there, like that. Get it? So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut out, I think, yeah, let's, this is fun. We're going to cut out the jet, paint him orange first, I think, because that'll be the easiest to fix. We have options here. What we got to do is we got to figure out, so the jet is going to be based in an orange, because that's what color the Bell X1 was. The sky is going to be this deep blue, and then it fades to this kind of hazy light blue, and then you have the arid kind of desert background down below. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do with each one. What I also want to do is I want to make sure I have the copper of the penny kind of exposed on the outside edge. So it's a whole bunch of stuff. So let's I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the blue in the background first and then put the orange on, because if I put the orange on and try to paint around it, I think that's going to be kind of difficult. Thank you, Bob Roberto. Yes, Glamorous Glennis is the name of Chuck Yeager's X1. All right, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Do I want to? Now the question is do I want to mask off the jet? I don't think I have to. All right, so we're going to do this way. We have 3 things to think about, and I'm going to switch you back out to the amazing image by Mark. So can I do this? I don't know how I'm going to do this. Yeah, so there's his last name, Caveron. It's Mark Caveron, and it's markcaveron.com. So you got to go check his work. It's amazing. And again, he does a lot of tech type art and, like airplanes and trains and fun stuff. And this is what he painted for the, for the Bell X1. So I want to use this same kind of field for this. So again, for mine, I'm going to have the blue field up top, the arid kind of desert down below, and then this brilliant orange plain in the middle, but I want to make sure that that kind of works with the penny. So let's start with the blue. I think that's going to be the best way to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the blue, then the desert or the sky. I'm going to put that off the side right there so I can see what I'm doing. And then, yeah. So this blew up in my head as I'm coming back from LA thinking about all this. I'm like, this would be so much fun to then take different coins with different years and create entirely, like an entire painting series with just like what happened in this year, you know? And then what I did was, I didn't show you this yet. I'll show you this now. What I also did was I've already made the frame for this. This frame is 3 inches by 4 inches, and it's made out of solid redwood. This was repurposed from a water tank in here in Ohio, thanks to Mike Stevenson. David Fiore, what's up, buddy? So this is going to go like this on this guy, kind of like that. And then down the bottom in the open space, I'm going to write the event. So this is going to be 1947. Chuck Yeager breaks the sound barrier in the Bell X1. And if you really want to nerd out, where'd it go? Here it is. This is my notepad, which has the specifics on the frame. So that's kind of how I came up with that. And then that led to the frame. The frame's rough right now. I still have to do a lot of work on it, but, you know, it'll get done. All right. Timothy John Luke Smith, what is up? All right, so let's get going on this because I've already been talking too much and Gary's going to yell at me. And I love that because someone's going to do it. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with white. And that'll be the haze, and then I'll add the blue to it. And then I'm just going to paint the jet, the orange base part of the jet over everything. What I have to figure out is where the white is. So I want to kind of just generally put this on here and figure out where the white is going to be. Again, I want the edge to show the copper of the penny. The relief part of it, the date and all that fun stuff, that's all going to, you know, show up anyway, just because it's relief. All right. Oh, this airbrush is spraying by itself. That's fun. Oh, well. Again, this is what happens when you don't use your airbrushes for a week, they get mad at you and they just kind of do whatever they want to do. Lovely. Yeah, I think this is going to be really fun. I think being able to do an entire series of microscope paintings. And again, I said I wasn't going to do it. I said I would never use magnifying glasses or, anything like that. But honestly, when I got this thing and I tried it out, I'm like, all right, now I want to see what I can actually do with it, Should be pretty fun. And the other question I had of George was, okay, you've worked with stereo microscopes. What does it do to your sight? How do you feel after the end of the end of a day of working with this? And he goes, yeah, no, I feel pretty good. No problem at all. I'm like, all right then. You know what? Since I've started with the white, I might as well just kind of include the bottom part as well. So I'm using this as basically like a base coat white, even though this is just regular opaque. And of course you can still see, I don't know, can you see it because it's so wiped out? You can't really see it. I can clearly see still Liberty and the date. I know it looks kind of washed out for you, but yeah. But it looks good. All right, so now I'm going to do is instead of using white and a mix, I'm going to go with straight blue. I think I'm going to use, I normally use opaque daylight blue. But I think I might switch it up here. I think I might just use cobalt blue straight out of the gun. Let's see what that looks like. If it doesn't work, I have time to mess around with it. There it is. Oh, cobalt blue is such a good color. Astral, what is up? Steve, you should do LA normal and fade into burning. Oh, Dave. Yeah, my LA painting, man, that place hit me like I wasn't prepared for. I've been to Anaheim. I went to the Coast Airbrush party a few years ago. So we were in Anaheim, which is kind of LA sub. But being in downtown LA this time, really it was a different experience for me. And I'm super glad because usually the Tokyo painting had come from my stepdaughter, Lachlan. A photo she had taken. New York had come from my daughter, Emily, who, she took that photograph. But this one I took, and being there on the ground, really, it was interesting. It was not what I expected. So I'm excited to do that painting. But yeah, it wasn't what I expected. I was expecting a very Hollywood, super slick, here we are in LA kind of thing. But there's a lot going on there. Not bad, but not as shiny and Hollywood as I thought it was going to be, which is great. It certainly changed my, James Cully, what's up? It certainly changed what I thought would be the effect, I guess, of me being there. All right, so I've got straight up cobalt blue in here. You can't see it because it's out of focus, but trust me on that. I'm going to start up at the top. First, I'm going to see if this sprays well, which it isn't. So I'm going to add more 543. What? No, I'm not going to add 543 to it because that's a painting. I'm going to add more UVLS gloss 50. I'm totally blown up right now. What am I doing? 4021, the new reducer, and the gloss clear, UVLS gloss clear. So that's what I'm going to do with that. and see if that works any better. Gloss clear is 40/50. Yeah, honey, no, it wasn't that. It was the there's a I mean, there's a homeless problem in every city, but Los Angeles had a no, my studio was in Boston, and Boston has as a homeless population as well. But it was something about the homeless population in LA that was different for me to see, and so it was crazy, as well as like in Boston the space is worth everything. If you own space, if you have a building in Boston, and it's even if it's burnt out, chances are it's going to get gentrified and it's going to be like turned into bajillion-dollar condos. LA might have the same thing going on, but I felt that it was lagging. Like there were these burnt out buildings that shouldn't be burnt out in a world where gasoline is $6 a gallon. It was just like I said, I can't put into words right now, but I'm sure I will be as I get the painting going. It was an experience. So, all right. So I've got blue in here again, but I've added a bunch of UVLS gloss clear to hopefully lighten this up. I don't know why this isn't spraying very well. Oh, that might be why. Hold on 1 second. Again, I'm using these brushes after a week of not being used, and they are telling me that they're not being used. Yes, 40/50. Sorry, I'm totally brain farting on this. Wow, why isn't this spraying? I'm disappointed. All right, so we're gonna swap brushes here and see. I think what might be happening is the brush is just jammed up with dried paint from not being used for a week. So what's happening is I pulled the trigger back and nothing's coming out. And then all of a sudden, when I get it back far enough, everything's coming out. So that's not ideal if you're trying to get like a fade of paint on a penny. You don't want that. If I was painting a larger thing, then it wouldn't be a problem. But this is not what I want. So, moral of this story is, should you paint a penny after you take a week off? Probably not, but All right, so now we're trying the Infinity, which I also have not used in a while. But it's working, so we're going to go with that. Again, I've got this really, really reduced. However, I've got a bunch of 40/50 in this, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit less. I think I'm too bright. There we go. Now you can see some of it. Oops. There we go. Now you can see the other stuff that's going on there. Oh, I got a little bit of flood there, so we'll have to fix that. So I got a little bit of blowout right on that side. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. So we're going to fix that before I move on. Halfway to showtime. Awesome. All right, so I just kind of had a blowout, which I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, you can. So right above Lincoln's nose there, the blue came out a little bit too hard. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm just going to grab a little bit of the white and I'm going to backfill into that. There we go. Give that a minute. There we go. So I'm just going to backfill into that with the white and make that go away. So I don't want to like hose this down with white again, because I'm not trying to like repaint the white. I just want to get rid of that little blowout from the blue. So just kind of take it slow. Again, the worst thing you can do when a mistake happens is like knee jerk it in the other direction. And trust me, that's all I want to do. When I make a mistake like that, I'm like, I need to fix it right away. And that's when things go sideways. So just take it real slow and just, kind of back it all off and, fix the mistake as you need it. And that's good. I like that. So let's jump back to the blue now that that's fixed, and I'm just going to relax and not push it, which is what I did last time. Lovely. Can you guys see that? I think you can. Yeah, so you can still make out the engraving, certainly on Lincoln and In God We Trust and Liberty 1947. I wanted to make sure that no matter what happens, this thing really reads that way. You can still see that. That's what I was kind of worried about, but it looks like it's working out really, really well. Especially in the 1947, the date. I want to make sure that's you can see it, because other than that, it doesn't make any sense. Like I'm just painting, the X1 on a penny. But the fact that this penny was created the same year that this happened, that's kind of a cool thing. I also said I was going to try to leave some of the copper. That's not working. There's not enough room. I mean, there really isn't. So, plus overspray from the airbrush just kind of fills everything in. So, I'm going to have to... and I did it again. I was talking and not paying attention. How bad is that? It's pretty bad. All right. So we're going to add a little bit more blue into this, and I'm going to fix that other mistake. Again, when you guys or when I get the messages like, how long does it take you to do a razor blade? It takes the same amount of damn time, because I'm always screwing things up. It's like so small, like a little mistake ends up being a big deal, So now I've got the white again. So I'm going to really gently kind of do the same thing again. I'm going to kind of hit the horizon line, especially right there where like a little shot of blue goes up his nose. And I'm just going to keep working that horizon line till that straightens out. Yeah, I mean, Max, it's like a constant thing, It's a constant back and forth. Which is fine. Like I said, I mean, when it gets down to it, again, one of the coolest things that happened by me working with these little tiny paintings was that on a bigger painting, I learned that no matter what happens, I can probably fix it, because all you're doing on a small painting is fixing shit. That's what you're doing. So when I switch to a larger painting, when stuff goes wrong, I'm like, all right, it's not a problem, because I'm used to things going sideways all the time. So that's been the one big advantage with this. So I'm just going right across that, kind of his beard, and lightly just kind of going over this until that, weird blowout with the blue just kind of disappears. So a penny is not the smallest thing I've ever worked on. The X-Acto blade was smaller than this, which is, which is great. What did I have blue in? I think this one. So that's not bad. It's smaller than a razor blade. And I'm back to the blue now. Smaller than a razor blade, so there's, that going on, but not too much smaller. It's probably about half the size of a razor blade. So all in all, this is not, not too crazy. All right, so now I get the blue back in. I'm now really taking care of not being an idiot and hitting this too hard. And we'll see what we got when we're done. That was good. And then what I think we'll do before the break is we'll get the tan in underneath for the, yeah, it looks good. We'll get the tan in underneath for the desert, and then we should be in good shape. My goal for tonight is to have this thing blocked in. I will try to do a time lapse or some sort of video of the microscope part of it, but I don't know that that's going to happen. Yeah, Max, exactly. All right, I'll be right back. One quick second. All right. In that second I was gone, did you all go to the website and buy all your 543s with the code? Did you do that? Yeah, you did that? I love you guys. Thank you so much. If you didn't do that, did you tell everyone you know that the code is going on and they can buy their own 543s for 20% off? I knew it, and you guys are awesome, and I love you. All right, let's do the desert now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a random kind of horizon here. Not really random, because this is really what it was. So I'm going to take that like that, and that's my horizon. Boom, just like that. Done. Tony D. All right. So now we got to figure out where this is going to be. So I'm going to use the kind of, the jet. I want the jet kind of be in the middle. So I'm going to do that. And then, I don't know how the magnet's going to stick through it, but it does, so I'm happy. I have white in the brush, so let's use some white, and then we'll switch that to tan. Oh no, almost nothing left in here. So, as far as white goes. So we're going to grab some of that. I'm going to grab some Wicked Brown. Bill Snagan. Bill, how are you doing, buddy? Bill, I haven't been around. I'm hopefully going to catch you tomorrow if you're on. I know you're going through all kinds of stuff with Sue, and I know you got some stuff going on. So hopefully everything is going well, Bill. I love your videos, and if you're not back on it, I cannot wait for you to get back on it. So that is wonderful. All right, so what I've done is I grabbed a little bit of white. I have some yellow ochre and a little bit of brown. So I've got this kind of tan color right now. And this is going to be the base for the desert behind here. All right. Oh, you guys can't see it. Slide that up. There we go. You didn't miss anything because I just mixed color. But there is the tan kind of color. And get that sprayed in. This is fairly thick. I didn't reduce this too much, but it it works out well for this because I don't have to worry about overspray at all. You know, I don't have to worry about trying to get a smooth fade like I did with the sky. Move this magnet down a little bit. There we go. But there's blue overspray on this bottom ridge here in this little trough. I want to get rid of that. A lot of the details in this desert kind of landscape is going to be done with a brush. But I got to get it to the point where it's based in correctly first, which is, like I said, get rid of that blue that's oversprayed on there. And, you know, the more I thought about this whole series, the more it excited me. Like, I was thinking about all the different things in history that could be done on coins of the same year. Like, obviously, if I, you know, just jump back 4 years from this one, I'm in the middle of World War II. So there's lots of fun stuff. Although I should take a page out of Gary's suggestions and do a quick bit of research before I go and vandalize a coin that might be like, you know, a milli vanilli dollar amount. That would be bad. But guys like me don't find coins that are $1 million, you know. That's not a thing that happens. Lovely. All that tan goodness. How are you getting back to work on penny? Oh, Dave, good question. So what's going on here? Can I back this out? Probably a little bit. All right. So what's going on here is you have the steel panel from the Visionaire. And then this here is a sheet magnet. This is the same stuff they use in like when you put a sign on the side of a truck, temporary sign. So I have a sheet magnet. I taped the penny to it. So what you got going on here is you got the magnet, the steel, and then I have a neodymium magnet here. So that's enough to kind of get through the penny, even though the penny has no magnetic attraction to it. So hopefully that helps kind of figure out. I don't like that at all. I don't like that well, let's switch back to this one. So if you look at this thing now, the bottom part of the horizon is really dirty looking, and I don't like that. So we're gonna fix it by using the other part of the cutout that I use for the horizon, and we're gonna put some white on this. Do I still have white in here? No, of course I don't. So basing in is for what I do and what a lot of artists do. Doing the base coats is really huge. It obviously is big for automotive artists too. You know, if you have a vehicle that you know, trying to get to a like candy apple red, for instance, the base coat that you put on that is going to make a huge difference in the final outcome. So for instance, if you use like a metallic gold and then paint transparent red over that, the candy apple red is like beautiful. It like glows, you know, you have this transparent red on top of this like metallic gold, and then you get a red, but it's like way more deep and impressive than if you just painted the thing red. So in traditional art, this is a huge thing. Like if you have a base coat of a certain color and then you come in after that with all your other colors, it takes on a whole different look than if you just say, you know, you work on a white surface, you know, you paint red on white, it's going to look a certain way. So this whole idea of underpainting is big. And yeah, if you're not doing it, it's a good idea to do it because it's fun. And like I said, it'll change everything. If you're painting, you know, a certain way, but you base everything in yellow first and then paint from there, it's going to take on a whole different look, more complex, more interesting. It's just neat. So I'm going to white in the brush now, and I'm going to correct that haze that's down the bottom that's kind of dirty right now. So this will clean it up and make that horizon seem much brighter. The horizon, and that's what I want, because you know he was up at a certain altitude and it was pretty far up, so you got a lot of atmospheric perspective, which is that haze, and that's exactly what I want there. Slide this down. How are we doing on time? Candy apple red is seen in my finished stratification. Yeah, astral, it's the same thing. So if you take candy apple red, there are so many ways to make that. If you have a base coat of silver and then you spray a transparent red on that, it's going to look completely different than if you have a transparent, or you know, like a metallic gold underneath it, which is really the common candy apple red base. So yeah, base coating makes a big difference. All right, so there we go. How are we doing? What time is it? I don't even know. You guys got to help me. 5 minutes-ish? Basement said about World War II, 543 American British soldiers walking armor. Yeah, it's awesome, Tony D. I know, think about it. Like I could have, I mean, here's the thing. Like I'm not going to do like Civil War, like 1850s type stuff, because vandalizing those coins or currency might be a bad thing. But this opens up so many things. I'm going to switch to this one while I get ready here. So that opens up all kinds of crazy things, like you know, like doing a painting on an actual bill from the year that whatever event happens. I mean, that's pretty cool. So who knows what it means. And that's what inspiration is. You know, it kind of hits you sideways and you don't really know that it's coming, and it does, and that's, you know, that's what it does. So all right, let's look at the painting for tonight. Did I lose it already? I lost it already. Oh my gosh. What's wrong with me? Well, if you win tonight and you want the Doctor Who painting, I'm gonna have to try to find it first. Here it is. Good. London Pen Company asked for a Dalek. I've done this before, but here's my new one. I guarantee the other one that was titled Exterminate is not the same as this one. And I don't have that one anymore, so someone owns that. But here's my new one. This is got Tom Baker. No! You can't see it because it's way too close. Sorry. You're going to have to suffer with this one. So you got Tom Baker in the background and the Dalek in the front part of it. And this one's called The Good Doctor. And that's the only one I got done for tonight. I may get the other ones done somehow. We'll see. And if not, you know, we're just going to pick it up from where we left off last week or 2 weeks ago. And I'm going to choose new, you know, things to do. And yeah, that's what I got. So let's go to this. Oh, let's do that first. So I will show you the list. We have 16 people on the list. Again, if you want to get on this list, it's really super easy. You just make me a suggestion for one of these black and white paintings. Even if I don't paint it, your name is still entered in the running. And tonight we have 16. If I can find it. Oh, this is super close. Where are you guys? Hold on. I'll figure it out. This is going to work. Yeah. All right. So this is the best I got. But I like to show you guys the names. So there we go. So Robert O'Malley, Wayne, Grumpy, all these fun people. And there we go. So if you win tonight, congratulations. And that is going to look like this. And we're going to generate a number randomly by random generator number, random.org. And they say 13 is your winner. Let's see if I can find you again. 13. Oh, like this. 13 is Mr. Rick Latta. Congratulations, Rick. Wait, what happened? JC, what happened? Look at 13. Pick me. JC already won. He can't win again. But yeah, it still works. So Rick Latta, congratulations, buddy. You have won. If you would like the Doctor Who painting, let me know before the end of the feed. If not, you can, and you know, you're not a winner tonight, meaning you're anyone but Rick Latta. You can go and get this painting tonight, but don't forget to use a tariff code because then it'll save you 20%. It will not cost you 20%. And then if you don't even get this one, you can use the tariff code on all of the 543s, as many as you want. So now's the time. You have 2 days left. That code ends on the 15th. Do it, do it, do it. So, yeah. There you go. All right. So if Rick's here, Rick, let me know if you want Doctor Who. If not, you know, then that's fine. It'll go up as soon as... thanks, Gary. I love you. Yeah, that'll go up as soon as the feed is over. We'll get going on that. So that if you want that one, you can grab it. Yeah. I'm so glad the feed straightened out. That's lovely. Because here's the thing. I don't know what's causing it. I don't know why it's happening. It makes it tough to fix, but it fixed itself, and I'm okay with that. All right. So let's switch back to this one. This is a little bit farther back now because I'm going to put the jet in, and then I think that's what we're going to call it. So you guys are going to see the whole, like, now we've got the desert kind of blocked in as far as a tan color. I've got the sky really good. I've got, you know, this haze, you know, for the atmospheric perspective. There's going to be a little bit of a fuzz between the horizon line, but pretty much that's it. So now what I want to do is I want to get the jet in because that's going to be bright orange. The sky's not going to change. There's no clouds here. So, so that's all good. So let's get that in. And of course, the jet is bright orange. The glamorous Glennis. Are you painting on a penny? Yeah, JC. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Budweiser hydroplane. Oh, Rick, if I have... Awesome, Rick. Yeah, Rick, I'm almost positive I still have that. So, Rick, I know I've got stuff to you before, but just send me a private message with your address, and I will get that out to you. I'm 99.9% that Miss Bud is still on there. So yeah, that's awesome, Rick. All right, so now I'm going to get the jet in. So what I got to do is I got to cut out a template of the main part of the jet. Like I don't have to get the pitot tubes and, you know, all the little tiny stuff, the jet, the exhaust, whatever. I don't have to get any of that. I just want the jet itself and the main part of the jet. So, and I'm not worried about shadows or shading or anything like that. I'm just getting the outline of the jet done because I'll be able to adjust everything as I go. What's going to be fun is like a lot of the details, like the stars and bars, these, you know, the US emblem on the jet. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll be able to do that with the microscope, which is going to be a whole different deal for me because, again, you know, I have pretty decent eyesight, but not as good as the microscope for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see how it changes my painting. Again, does this mean that this is going to be the way it's going to be for forever? No, because actually the trajectory that I had myself on was when I couldn't do this without, you know, with my naked eye, I would just start painting larger. That was my idea. And I still think I'm going to keep to that. I don't want to get into doing the crazy, you know, insanely small stuff. So, yes. And for those who were wondering, this painting is not for sale. It's going to go to my buddy George, who gifted me that amazing stereo microscope. However, I will have other pennies or quarters down the road. This is going to be fun, and I know I'm going to do at least one or two more. So you can kind of keep an eye out for that. All right, they will not be 543 prices though. So just so you're aware, what it takes them to pull this off is not, you know, it's not a 2-hour painting. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up the horizon line. So here we go. So now I've got this, you know, you got this blue in there, you got the white showing through. I got to get this to be orange. Now, if I spray orange on this right out of the gate, you guys all know, if you've done anything with art, orange is exactly opposite of blue on the color wheel. So if I spray this with even opaque orange, it's going to have a weird, muddy, you know, kind of odd color until I get to saturation. Now, to get to saturation means I have to have a lot of paint on there, and that's not good because it's going to have dimension to it, and I don't want that. Now, normally, if you're working with a 5-foot painting or whatever, you're not worried about dimension of your paint, you know, but on a scale of a penny, a couple microns of paint shows it has an edge, and I don't want that as much as I can avoid it. So what I'm going to do to kind of make that work is I'm going to start by painting this white. So by painting a white, I take the curse off the blue before I get it there. So I'm just going to kind of really lightly lay in the white. And again, I want to work in really light layers, really dry layers, because that's going to allow me to keep it really super clean. If I hose this thing down, if I hit it really hard, it's going to end up being a mess. So as you've seen twice tonight, which we don't want to have happen. So really light, just kind of going over this thing, letting it do its thing, letting the air hold the template down. You see I've got one magnet on here because it's all I can really fit. So I'm just letting the air do the rest of the work. And that means, again, I can't stress it enough, light layers. I'm letting a lot of air go and not a lot of paint fly. I also don't want to get this 100% white. I don't need to. I just need to take the curse off the blue, and that's about where I want it. Again, I would love to say that I'll be able to time-lapse this, but I don't think I can. It's just, it's going to be a lot of, I have to use the microscope over on my other workbench, and I don't think I can set it all up. All right, so I'm cleaning out the white, and I'm going to use Createx Opaque Orange. Yeah, there it is. All right. So Rick got Bud, the Bud painting, and that painting I've done twice as well. I've done Miss Bud a couple times. Just a great, that Budweiser speedboat, just insane, and so much fun to paint. It's like a jet, it's like a plane, but without wings on the water. It's just insane. All right, so now I've got Opaque White by Createx. Now, before you all take off, this is going to be the last little bit of it, but I want to talk to you guys before we go, so hang on a little bit before we bug out. So we're going to get the orange on here, and then, stick with me for a little bit. So now I've got the orange in here. It's opaque, but it's also pretty well reduced. So I'm just going to kind of slowly, same thing, really slowly build this orange up. I think I might have it a little bit too thin. I added too much 40-50 to it. So I'm going to add another drop of orange to give it a little bit of kind of like a little bit of a punch. Again, I don't want it super thick. I don't want it to build up really, really thick, because guaranteed, like I said, on a penny scale, you're going to see it. A little bit over here. That's better. Again, you have to take your time. If you're going to be working with any details, but especially like this size, you have to take your time. It ends up being a total disaster if you push it and try to just I've got a stencil, so I'm going to hit it and it's going to be done. You're going to end up having a problem. So really light layers. Just take your time. Let that color slowly build up. I'm going to have to clean up around this anyway. I know it. It's just the nature of the beast. But this will just get me in the ballpark. It'll get me started with what I need. There'll be highlights on this and shading on this and all that fun stuff. But like I said, this just gets me where I need to be. I think that's going to be good. We'll see. So we'll pull this off and see what we got. And we've got a bright orange plane on there. Ironically, the wing lines up with Lincoln's shoulder, which probably isn't the best, but that's fine. I still have enough room here at the end for the little jet exhaust, and everything's looking good. So I'm super excited about this, and that's kind of where we're at. So I'm going to tilt this to you guys, and then I'll refocus so you guys can see what this thing really looks like. Yes, the ads are the worst part about the non-membership YouTube, but it's not terrible. And if you get the premium, you don't have to deal with any of the ads. Like, I love YouTube Premium. It's great because you get movies and music and all that other fun stuff. But I'm not, pumping YouTube Premium. You do what you guys want, but yeah, I love it. All right, so there we go. So that's my X1 so far. And I will post this when it's done. I will post a much better picture of this than you guys get, but you can still see the 1947. I love where it is. It's in the atmospheric part of the horizon. In God We Trust is really cool too up top, and the jet is front and center. So this is really working out well. I'm gonna back you guys out here too because I can show you quickly. I haven't got this frame even close to being where it needs to be. It needs a lot of work, but again, this is a redwood frame that I got from wood from my buddy Mike Stevenson. And so once that's finished, it's gonna basically sit in the middle here like this. And down below it'll have 1947, Chuck Yeager Breaks the Sound Barrier. And yeah, that's how that's going to look. Obviously, the penny will be a lot closer to the surface too. And yeah, this is what we got. So what I wanted to mention real quick at the end, and I'm glad you stuck around for this, is the painting from 2 weeks ago, the 1956 Chevy emblem. This painting is done. It's all cleared and ready to go. I would really, 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 really love one of you guys to have this. So it's going to stay up on my website for a couple days at the crazy discounted price. It's unframed, so you can do, however you want to frame it. If it doesn't, move in a couple days, I'm going to pull it off the site. I'm going to frame it, and then it won't be at the discount it is at now. So I just wanted to give you guys one last opportunity to grab this one. Before it ends up, getting all framed and fancy and back to regular price and all that stuff. So take advantage of this one. It's definitely going to be worth it if you do. It's on ampersand board. There we go. Ampersand clay board. It's 4x4. It's easy to frame. Yeah. So there you go. So go grab this one now before, I take it down and do all my craziness to it. So there we go. So that's what I got. Oh, I got this in the way, that's in the way. So thank you all. Thank you all. We're back. We're back. Tomorrow night or tomorrow day, we have the time lapse, which will appear at 10 a.m. So you get to see that Doctor Who painting live, or not live, but you'll see how I finished that painting. That'll go on. And then Wednesday, we're going to do more on the Tokyo painting. That's come along great. So we'll do an open studio on Tokyo. I talk more about my LA trip on that, so grab that. And that's what we got. So if not, join me again on Monday, and we'll do another Monday Night Live. Hopefully you got your 543 suggestions in. Hopefully the YouTube gods will continue to grace us with decent feeds and no spinny circles. That's what I'm hoping. And that's what I got. So take care, everyone. Be good to one another. And I will see you guys next week. I don't know what you're going to get when I push this button, but here, oh, you're going to get the microscope. That's what it looks like.